This video is a bit different to the kind of thing I normally do, and I just felt like I wanted to give a little bit of financial advice, believe it or not. I mean, I'm not a financial guru by any stretch of the imagination, but this is something that I've learned working in the yachting industry, and it's specifically for people who get paid in a currency that's not their own. So if you get paid in euros like I do, and you live in a country that has different currency, then the conversion rates that you get from your bank can be wildly different depending on who you use. And this is basically information for people who maybe you're about to go in the yachting industry, or maybe you are already in the yachting industry but you don't know about this. Now, there's going to be people watching who will say, well, you know, this is obvious. Why would you even make a video? But you know, up until maybe 3 or 4 years ago, it was not something I was doing, and I've been at sea for 20 years. So partly the reason why I wasn't doing it is because some of these alternative banks didn't exist back then. But anyway, I want to make it because if it helps even a handful of people, it's worth it. Once you go on board, the purser will ask you for your bank details, right? So where they're going to pay your money. And every month, hopefully, if you work on a good boat, every month you'll get paid into that bank account. And most yachts, by the way, most yachts pay their salary in euros. Some pay in dollars. I'm sure there are yachts in other parts of the world that pay in a different currency, but I'm going to concentrate on what I believe to be the majority of yachts, which pay in euros or dollars, regardless of the location. If you get paid in euros, let's say you get paid 2,500 euros a month, when that money is sent to your UK bank account, the bank will automatically transfer or exchange it into sterling, right? And the mainstream banks like HSBC or Barclays or whoever you use, they all have similar competing exchange rates. However, in the last few years, there's been a lot of new banks that have come out, like Revolut, Monzo, TransferWise, and these are online banks. They're very different in ways to the traditional Main Street banks. And one of the things that they do very differently is the exchange rates. By the way, just before we go into this any further, I just want to say this isn't a sponsored video. I'm not getting any money from any banks to talk about this. I'm not getting any money from anyone to talk about this. This is just like a video that I wanted to make because I want to get this information over to people to maybe help them get a little bit more money every month without getting a pay rise, right? Maybe that's what I'll call this video. Anyway, so let's go back to what I was saying. So the person will take your bank details, your IBAN, your SWIFT code, all that kind of stuff, and then she will put in each month she will send the information to the management company, and they pay the money, your salary, into your account. So if you're with HSBC, I have an HSBC account. If you get paid into that, then they will exchange to sterling. Now, the way I would recommend doing it is a little bit different. So what I have is I have a currency account. I have a normal sterling HSBC account, but I also have a currency account in euros. And that's the bank that I get paid into every month. So it goes into my euro account in euros and it stays in euros. And the reason for this is because I don't necessarily want to convert at that particular time, right? Because the exchange rate at the time that you get paid might not be very good. And then a few weeks later, it might have gone up. Now, with some of these new banks, you can actually say, I want to exchange, say, 5,000 euros, but I want to do it only when it reaches this exchange rate. And then it will hold it and then convert it, exchange it when it gets to that exchange rate. Now, if you've got that flexibility, then that's a good thing to have. After my money's been paid into my currency account, it sits there until I want to change it into sterling. Then I send it from the currency account to another account which I have called Revolut. And in Revolut, I have sterling, I have euros and I have dollars. That's for when I'm traveling. That covers most of the places I go to. So when I send the money from my HSBC currency account to Revolut, it's still in euros and it sits in euros, right? So then when I'm ready to, I convert it or exchange it into sterling. And then from there, I can either keep it in Revolut and use my card to spend it, or I can send it back to my HSBC current account and it's in sterlings. Now, in doing so, what I've done is I've saved myself that even though there's no fee on either of those banks, the exchange rate is actually very, very different. Now, if I go into my HSBC, I'll put it up on screen. Obviously, I'm going to try and cover up to make sure I don't give any of my bank details away. When I go to send my euros, but when I type in 10,000 euros, you can see the window next to it automatically is converting it into GBP, which is Great Britain pounds, right? When you type in the amount, you can see what you're going to get. Or you can see the exchange rate there, and it's €1 equals 0.824, it goes on. And then the amount they're going to give me is 8,243.25 pence. Now what I do is I change it to euros, so it sends it in euros. When I go to my Revolut account and I go to exchange, because I want to exchange the euros that I'm going to send to myself. Obviously I've got no euros in this account right now, but you can see when I type in 10,000 euros, you can see the exchange rate there in the top left hand corner, and it says €1 is 0.8505. And you can see that it says that I'll get £8,505.13. So all I've done there is I've used a different bank to exchange my money, to buy sterling, if you like, buy pounds with my euros. And the difference on the 10,000 euros is £262. That's the difference I'm going to make by using Revolut to exchange my currency. That's the amount of money that HSBC is making just converting those euros to sterling. I mean, there's no fee on either of these accounts, but the exchange rate is so drastically different that that if I was to use HSBC, I would lose £262 of my salary. Now, if obviously I don't get paid 10,000 euros, just to clarify that, but it doesn't matter how much you get paid, right? If you get paid, like at the beginning I said 2,500. If you get paid 2,500 euros and you do the same thing, the difference is £65. That's the difference that you're going to make £65 more just by converting with Revolut. That's £780 over 12 months. Now, if you do get paid 10,000, you'll make the difference is £3,144 over 12 months. Now, obviously, the exchange rate is constantly changing, so you might not get exactly these figures, but this is just an example. Now, like I said, guys, I'm not getting paid to talk about this. So it's not a sponsored video. I'm not recommending Revolut. I'm not recommending Monzo, any of the banks I've mentioned. I'm just telling you one way to do it. It's the one way I use. And there are other benefits for using these different types of banks, the online banks. This is one of the great things about Revolut, is that it's useful for crew to be able to send money to each other. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there. I think it's quite a simple thing. I've banged on about it quite a lot, considering it's quite a straightforward thing. I hope this video has actually been as straightforward as it seemed to be in my head. If you've got any questions, place them down below. I hope it helps somebody. It'd be great to know if it has helped you. I just want to say also, there's nothing illegal about this. I'm not doing anything that's untoward. It's completely, normal. It's just a way of exchanging your money without the bank making a massive profit from you. Now, you might be asking, why is it the Revolut and Monzo and those banks have such a good exchange rate? And that's a good question, and I don't really know the answer to that. What I do know is that they are trying to attract as many people to their banks as they can, so they have a very, very good exchange rate. They also they charge it for things like I think I pay £12 a month for Revolut for the plan that I have. They do have another plan which is about £7 a month, but when you consider the amount of money that you save, it's well worth it. Anyway guys, I'll wrap it up there because I think I've rattled on long enough. If you've got any questions, place them below. Be sure to like this video, be sure to share it with other people if you think you know somebody who might be interested. And also, like I said, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the little bell as well so you get all the notifications in future. All right guys, thanks a lot, bye-bye.